On the bustling streets of Tyneside, amid busy cafes and lively chatter from devoted supporters, something has quietly begun to catch attention behind the scenes at Newcastle United. Subtle signs, almost imperceptible to those not observing closely, suggest that significant changes may be taking shape, although no one is willing to speak openly about them. Every training session, meeting, and decision at St. James Park seems charged with tension, leaving the most attentive Geordies curious about what truly lies ahead this season. And speaking of staying informed, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now is the perfect moment. By hitting subscribe, you'll ensure you never miss a single exclusive detail about Newcastle United, straight from the most trusted sources. Plus, it helps the channel grow, allowing us to bring even more in-depth content about players, behind-the-scenes insights, and the strategies of the club we all love. Among the topics generating interest, rumors have surfaced regarding key player signings and contracts, behind-the-scenes moves that could shape the club's immediate future. Fans have been speculating about who will stay and who might attract interest from Premier League giants. The atmosphere is one of expectation, and even the smallest signals within the club spark heated debates among supporters on social media. This video will explore every move and what it could mean for the upcoming season. As the scenario unfolds, the presence of sporting director Ross Wilson cannot be ignored. Since taking up the role, Wilson has been working quietly, developing a list of priorities set to have a fundamental impact on Newcastle. Among these priorities are crucial decisions regarding contracts and the retention of strategic players, ensuring the club maintains stability and consistent growth, while keeping the team competitive on all fronts. The big revelation, confirmed by TBR Football, is that Wilson has placed Dutch defender Sven Botman, 25, at the very top of his priority list. Botman, a cornerstone of the club's defense, is now drawing attention not only internally but also from other major English clubs. Chelsea, dealing with injuries to players like Levi Colwill, Wesley Fofana and Tosin Adarabioyo, have shown interest in the defender. However, Newcastle are not planning to make his departure easy, and the coming weeks could prove decisive in determining whether Botman remains a key figure at St. James Park. If you want to follow every detail of this negotiation and understand how it could change Newcastle's course, subscribe to the channel now. Keeping up with these updates ensures you won't miss any news about contracts, transfers, and club strategies, straight from those covering Newcastle's day-to-day with exclusivity and accuracy. Keeping Botman at Newcastle goes beyond a simple contract matter. He represents the defensive stability essential for the club to continue its ambitious project of challenging for titles regularly. The board understands that losing such a key player could jeopardize not only this season's plans, but also the team's sustained growth. The priority is clear: secure a new deal and ensure he remains a defensive pillar. Meanwhile, Chelsea see Botman as an opportunity to reinforce their defense with both quality and depth. For the London club, the chance to add a young, established Premier League player is strategic, especially given the absence of key figures. For Botman, the prospect of playing for one of the country's biggest clubs is tempting, but it involves weighing a long-term career move against loyalty to Newcastle and the trust placed in him by the board and fans. The situation remains dynamic. Sources indicate that negotiations and contract discussions are ongoing. Yet Wilson is demonstrating firmness in prioritizing the player's retention. For Newcastle supporters, every Botman update is met with great anticipation, because beyond being a defensive asset, he has become a reference point for the team and an example of commitment on the pitch. And to ensure you don't miss any of these updates, remember to subscribe to the channel. Following Newcastle's negotiations and behind-the-scenes developments is essential for understanding the club's planning and the future of key players like Botman. Our team tracks every detail through trusted sources, providing precise information and in-depth analysis so you stay fully informed. On the pitch, Botman continues to prove his worth. Each match reinforces his importance to Newcastle's strategy, both defensively and in building attacks. The board, fully aware of his potential and impact, sees contract renewal as a top priority. Meanwhile, rival clubs' interest adds extra pressure, making the scenario even more gripping for Geordies following every step of the defender. Ultimately, what's at stake goes far beyond a mere contract. It's about keeping Newcastle competitive, strengthening the defense, and ensuring the ambitious goal of contending for titles is sustainable. Ross Wilson's challenge is to balance the club's ambitions with the recognition and motivation of essential players like Botman, fostering an environment where everyone feels committed to collective success. And don't forget, if you want to follow every step of this story, every negotiation, every confirmed or denied rumor, subscribe to the channel. With your subscription, you gain immediate access to all Newcastle news, analysis, and commentary, without missing any important detail. The situation evolves week by week, and supporters' attention is crucial. Every training session, interview, and board meeting is scrutinized by Geordies eager for news about Botman's future and potential reinforcements that could transform Newcastle into an even stronger Premier League force. Chelsea, for their part, are monitoring closely their need for defensive reinforcements. combined with interest in promising and established players like Botman, may trigger strategic moves in the coming months. Newcastle's challenge is to balance financial, sporting, and player interests, creating a situation that benefits all parties involved. As fans speculate, the atmosphere behind the scenes at St. James Park remains tense but full of anticipation. Ross Wilson understands that every decision can directly impact the club's future, and his work in consolidating the defense and retaining key players like Botman is central to the season's success. Botman's future remains uncertain, and every decision made in the coming days could define not only his career but also Newcastle's trajectory in the Premier League. With Ross Wilson leading negotiations, the club demonstrates ambition, careful planning, and a clear priority to maintain a solid, competitive defense.